if you had a friend who was a performer and was going to perform at a Renaissance fair for the first time, what advice would you give them?
For me, it's a piece of advice that one of my friends who's a puppeteer had accidentally just given to me in conversation, and it took a couple of years before I realized it, but it is the most open and receptive and incredible performance venue that I can ever imagine. I mean, I as a musician, you think, well, wow, what if I played, this theater or this stadium or whatever, and it's like to have 20 or 30 or 100 people at a Renaissance festival, all of them showed up and they want to be entertained and they want you to succeed and they're there with you on that journey. And it's, as a performer, especially musicians that play in bars, we're not always used to that. You got people there for business meetings and playing darts. Yeah. At the Renaissance Festival, they came to have fun. They came to play. And I've never been in another performance setting that duplicates that.
ash grove, how graceful, how plainly 'tis speaking, the wind through it playing has language for me. Whenever the light through its branches is breaking, a host of kind faces is gazing on me. The friends from my childhood again are before me. Each step brings back memories as freely I roam. With soft whispers laden, its leaves rustle o'er me. The ash grove, alone is my home. My lips smile no more, my heart loses its lightness. To dream of the future, my spirit can cheer. I only would brood on the past and its brightness. The dead I have mourned are again living here. From every dark nook they step forward to greet me. I lift up my eyes to its broad leafy dome, and others are there looking downward to greet me. The ash grove, alone is my home. The ash grove, alone is my home.
With the invention of the printing press, mass production of written words became both more economical and more common. While larger books might sell for more money, each page would have to be set up, printed in mass, and later collated, then bound into a volume before a printer could realize a profit. Short printing jobs of single sheets could be sold more quickly from start to finish, and only needed to have one page set up for an entire run. These most common forms of printed material were called broadsides because they were printed the broad direction on a single side of a piece of paper. Ballads were a commonly printed type of broadside. These lyric sheets often detailed stories in comical, fanciful, tragic, or historical themes. Some of them had original tunes, but most of them were meant to be sung to melodies that would have been familiar to many of the common people of the time. Collections of broadside ballads were even printed together into small cheap books or chapbooks for people who wanted them and could afford them, much like modern paperbacks. Today, we may turn on our radios, or more likely our MP3 players, or go to the cloud, and hum, sing, or just bob along with the music that we hear. But long before there were electronic recording and playback devices, there were broadside balladeers trying to sell you the lyrics to their ballads. The familiar melodies and memorable stories of the broadside ballads were the popular music of their day.
Good day, good even, well met. Well, I was a bound apprentice in famous Lincolnshire. Full well I served my master for more than 7 years, till I took up a poaching, as you shall quickly hear. Oh, 'tis my delight on the shiny night of the season of the year. As me and my companions were setting of a snare, 'twas then we spied the gamekeeper, for him we did not care. But we can wrestle and fight, my boys, and jump or anywhere. Oh, 'tis my delight on the shiny night of the season of the year. As me and my companions were setting 4 or 5, and taking of them up again, we caught a hare alive. We caught a hare alive, my boys, then homeward we did steer. Oh, 'tis my delight on the shiny night of the season of the year. We threw him over our shoulder, then we trudged on home. We took him to a neighbor's house, we sold him for a crown. We sold him for a crown, my boys, but I dare not tell you where. Oh, 'tis my delight on the shiny night of the season of the year. Now good luck to every gentleman who lives in Lincolnshire. Good luck to every poacher who wants to steal a hare. Bad luck to every gamekeeper that will not sell his deer. Oh, 'tis my delight on the shiny night of the season of the year. Of the season of the year. Well, that was the Lincolnshire Poacher, or my version of it. It is often listed as a traditional song. However, if you go back in the records, as it were, you will also find it listed as a broadside. It's both. It bridges the gap. Now, broadside means that it was printed on the broad direction on a piece of paper on a printing press to turn a quick coin. Because books, you had to put a lot of labor and a lot of wealth into creating the books far ahead of when you would be able to see any benefit from it if the book sold well. A broadside, however, was just printed like flyers that we have today and was the popular music of its time. So I'm going to take you back with some old broadsides, and I'm going to bring you some newer ones as well. Sir Eglamour was a valiant knight, Fala lanky down dilly, put on his sword and he went to fight. Fala lanky down dilly, and as he rid o'er hill and dale, all armored in his coat of mail. Fala la la la, la lanky down dilly. Starts a huge dragon out of its den, Fala lanky down dilly, which had killed I know not how many men. Fala lanky down dilly. When he saw Sir Eglamour, you should have heard how that dragon did roar. Fala la la la, la lanky down dilly. Dragon had a plaguey hard hide, Fala lanky down dilly, which could the sharpest steel abide. Fala lanky down dilly, he could not enter him with his cuts, which vexed the knight to his heart, blood, and guts. Fala la la la, la lanky down dilly. All the trees in the wood did shake, Fala lanky down dilly. Houses did tremble and men did quake, Fala lanky down dilly. The birds betook 'em to their peeping, 'twould have made a man's heart fall to weeping. Fala la la la, la lanky down dilly. Now it was no time to fear, Fala lanky down dilly, for now it was fight dog, fight bear, Fala lanky down dilly. And as the dragon yawning did fall, he thrust his sword down, hilt and all. Fala la la la, la lanky down dilly. As the night in collar did burn, Fala lanky down dilly, he owed that dragon a shrewd good turn. Fala lanky down dilly, in at its mouth his sword he sent, the hilt appeared at its fundament. Fala la la la, la lanky down dilly. Then the dragon began to fly, Fala lanky down dilly, to its den which was hard by. Fala lanky down dilly, there he laid was grieved for the loss of his sword. Fa la 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 la, la lanky down dilly. Now that sword it was a right good blade. Fa la lanky down dilly, as ever a Turk or Spaniard made. Fa la lanky down dilly, but for my part I do forsake it. He that will fetch it, let him take it. Fa la 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 la, la lanky down dilly. When all was done, to the alehouse he went. Fa la lanky down dilly, and in a trice his 2 pence he spent. Fa la lanky down dilly. He was so hot from tugging the dragon, that nothing would quench him but a whole flagon. Ba la 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 la, la lanky down dilly. Well, now let us pray for the king and queen. Fa la lanky down dilly, and eke in London there may be seen. Fa la lanky down dilly, as many a knight and as many more, and all as good as Sir Eglamour. Fa la 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 la, la lanky down dilly. That, of course, was Sir Eglamour, which Shakespeare used as one of his characters in Two Gentlemen of Verona. It allowed Shakespeare to give the audience an individual that they felt they knew and already had background information. We know that Sir Eglamour was a pretty good knight, but when push came to shove, he went to the tavern, which was where they were all singing his song. And that's the way his audiences could also know the story of Pyramus and Thisbe from A Midsummer Night's Dream before they went to see the show, because they were singing about it in the taverns. Or if there was a character that he wanted to show as a bit shady and perhaps lacking morals, he might refer to Tybalt as a Grey Friar, and the Friar and the Nun, or as a rat catcher. Well, there was a rare rat catcher, did about the country wander. The sound displayed of all his trade, I would him deeply slander. And he would cry, rat-a-tat, terror-rat, ever. To catch a mouse or to carouse such a ratter, I saw never. Upon a pole he carried full 40 fulsome vermin, whose cursed life without a knife to take did he determine. And he would cry, rat-a-tat, terror-rat, ever. To catch a mouse or to carouse such a ratter, I saw never. He knew the nut of India that makes the magpie stagger, such mercuries and cantharies with arsenic and rosica. And he would cry, rat-a-tat, terror-rat, ever. To catch a mouse or to carouse such a ratter, I saw never. He was so brave a Bowser, 'twas never wondered whether he taught them or the rats taught him to be drunk as rats together. Still he would cry, rat-a-tat, terror-rat, ever. To catch a mouse or to carouse such a ratter, I saw never. Full often with the native, the juice of poppies drunk he, ate poison frank with a Monte bank and spiders with a monkey. And he would cry, rat-a-tat, terror-rat, ever. To catch a mouse or to carouse such a ratter, I saw never. When he tripped this island from Bristol into Dover, with painful bag and painted flag to France he carried over. That, of course, being the abridged version. I'll leave the other 30-some-odd verses for you to look up yourself. This is a rather erroneous version of Spanish Armado, also known as 88, Sir Francis Drake. As I can well remember, in August was a fleet prepared that month before September. Spain escaped Portugal, Toledo, Santiago. It needed to form a fleet, and they called it the Armado. When they did take on provisions, as mustard, peas, and bacon, some say 2 ships were full of whips, but I think that they were mistaken. Now there was a small man of Spain who shot well in a gun. Don Pedro Hyde as good a knight as a knight of the sun. Him to stay, but to destroy both man and boy, and then to run away. The King of Spain did fret amain, and so to do more harm, he sent along to make him strong that fabled Prince of Parma. Now they sailed across the sea, they anchored on Dover. Our Englishmen did board them then and cast those Spaniards over. Our Queen, she was in Tilbury, what could you more desire? For whose sweet sake Sir Francis Drake did set those ships on fire. So let them look about themselves, if they should come again, they shall be served with that same sauce as they were and I know when. Let's leave it here for now. This is from a couple of different broadsides and a little bit of other inspiration that I cobbled together. Many of the broadside verses would, well, they would steal from each other, or they would take a bit from here and a bit from there, and have marked similarities in not only the subject matter, but also the meter of the verses. So when you would find a couple of them, they might be actually to the same melody, or they might be entirely different melodies. You may notice that if you are familiar with broadsides, that many of the melodies that I use are my own, and I don't always take them from the original source, because I have a more modern ear, and sometimes the melody just doesn't sit right on my palate. Sometimes it does, so this is one of my own. 'Twas on a dark and cheerless night to the southern of the Cape, when from a strong nor'wester we had just made our escape. Like an infant in its cradle, each breeze was hushed to sleep, and peacefully we sailed along the bosom of the deep. At length our helmsman gave a shout of terror and of fear, as if he had just gazed upon some sudden danger near. The sea all round was cloud and foam, and just upon our lee we spied an abounding o'er the sea. Take in your flowing canvas, lads, our watchful master cried. To us and our ship's company, great peril doth betide. The billows crest with foam, all angry doth appear. The sea will seek to take us down, now Vanderdecken's near. We heard heave-ho the boom, bring that bow around, and let the Flying Dutchman gain the sighting of that sound. He scuds along too rapidly to mark his eagle's flight, and then light like the Dutchman's helm full soon is out of sight. The crews of ships far distant now shudder at the breeze that bears the Flying Dutchman in fury o'er the seas. Here comes the Flying Dutchman, light o'er the lofty spray. Preceded by the tempest dire, he makes for Table Bay. With bird-like speed he's borne before the wind and howling blast. But ere he can cast anchor there, the bay alas is past. He cries, heave-ho the boom, to bring that bow around, and let the Flying Dutchman gain the sighting of that sound. Now mourn for Vanderdecken, for terrible's his doom. The ocean round that stormy cape, it is his living tomb. There the Dutchman beats about forever and a day, and tries in vain to keep his oath by entering Table Bay. Still he strides across the deck each night, enshrouded in the haze, inspecting bow to stern, while port and starboard runs his gaze. Crew standing at the ready awaits the next command of Hendrik Vanderdecken, captain of the dam. He cries, heave-ho the boom, to bring that bow around, and let the Flying Dutchman gain a sighting of that sound. One of the interesting things about broadsides, and we thought that Weird Al invented it, was that broadsides would often indicate a melody of a previous song, whether it was traditional or yet another broadside to sing your song to. Sometimes there are original melodies, sometimes there weren't. That way, someone could pick up a broadside, make up their own melody, or they could look at what the melody was suggested and they could sing it with their friends right on the spot if they wanted to. So, appropriating familiar melodies is one of those old traditions. Knights of old had their tribulations with dragons and monsters to tame. But what caused them the most consternation was when they encountered a dame. Now some were tormented by portents, and others by wages of sin. But the source of their woes was not of their foes, but rather a lady's chagrin. Now consider the plight of Sir Tristan, who was brave, strong, and handsomely born. His career was pushed over a precipice when he shared drinks with Isolde. And Arthur's favorite Sir Gawain, tormented by Lady Birdlack, along with his auntie Morgan Le Fay, it's a wonder that he made it back. Now forget not Sir Balin the Salvage, beware women proffering swords. His virtue then led him to behead the lake lady there afterwards. And Lancelot was no choir boy, for Guinevere was the king's wife. And once they were caught, then Sir Lancelot thereafter knew nothing but strife. And Morgause was Arthur's half-sister, by Arthur a child begot. And when that child grew, his father he slew, and brought the end of Camelot. Not only were knights so endangered, it seemed that no man could be safe. For Merlin himself fell for an elf who trapped him inside of a cave. The lesson to my story before my song is all sung. For dragons and monsters charging me lads, at the sight of a damsel you run. Moving into the less traditional and the more modern less traditional, I suppose, my newest CD is called Critter Myth, and it's patterned as if I were a broadside balladeer in a D&D campaign from my youth. So all of the references are from the Dungeon Master's Guide, pretty much, and experiences that I had back in the 70s and 80s. So this one's called Baba Yaga's Hut. Baba Yaga had a hut that could walk up and down the street, balanced up on two strong legs. At the bottom were talon chicken feet. It comes a lumbering down the path, you better get out of its way. Don't you know that if you don't, there'll be all 9 hells to pay? Staggers left, it stumbles right, you wonder if it'll attack. You're best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Well, Wendell Jones took a trip out back to see a man about a griffin. They found him wide-eyed, drooling mad, gibbering about some chicken. Staggers left, it stumbles right, you wonder if it'll attack. You're best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Ellen Smith was hanging clothes high above the street. When she reeled them back inside, they were printed with dirty chicken feet. Staggers left, it stumbles right, you wonder if it'll attack. You're best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. You never know when your number's up and it's headed right for you. But if it does, throw your fingers up, shout a hearty pluck you too. It staggers left, stumbles right, you wonder if it'll attack. You're best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Yeah, you're best to turn and run for cover, hug the ground, call for mother. You're best to turn and run for cover, Baba Yaga's chicken shack. I thought I'd end this on a little bit of a different and maybe even more modern note, but this is from that same collection. It's called Critter Myth. It's called The Deck of Many Don'ts. There's a reason we don't do it. Just turn and walk away. Don't set a bad example for the innocents in play. Nothing good will come of it, no matter what you lost. The deck of many things, it's never worth the cost. You may think the world's against you as you wallow in despair. Perhaps you seek adventure, so you decide to draw a pair. The first may be a boon, like a gem, a star, or key. The next will be the void, with the utmost certainty. I heard about a ruler of a principality. He thought he'd take a gamble, so he approached it logically. If I take just one, he told himself, my chances will be few. He drew one card, then death appeared, and promptly ran him through. There's a reason we don't do it, just turn and walk away. Don't set a bad example for the innocents in play. Nothing good will come of it, no matter what you lost. The deck of many things, it's never worth the cost. Now drawing is a gamble, still think you haven't got enough. Know that we will miss you and appreciate your stuff. But if you're feeling wiser, rather than melee, just throw it at your enemy and promptly run away. There's a reason we don't do it, just turn and walk away. Don't set a bad example for the innocents in play. Nothing good will come of it, no matter what you lost. The deck of many things, it's never worth the cost. No, it's never worth the cost. Thank you, and it's been a pleasure playing for you this day.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Bonjour.
We're Faire de Middlin, and we are recording live from our living room in France. So the first song we're going to do for you is an ancient song that goes all the way back to 1935.
You might recognize this one.
I'm Henry VIII, I am. Henry VIII, I am. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before, and everyone was an enemy. She wouldn't take a Willie or a Sam. No, Sam, I'm a rich old man, I'm Henry. Henry VIII, I am. Henry VIII, I am. Second verse, same as the...
No.
She never lets me do the second verse.
Nah.
You know, we have like 20 minutes or something. We could just do 500 of these verses of the same...
Let's just put the capo on.
Okay.
And this is by the same writing team. The ghost of Anne Boleyn was, they declare. For Anne Boleyn was once King Henry's wife, until he had the headsman bob her hair. Ah yes, he did her wrong so long ago, and she comes up each night to tell him so.
With her head tucked underneath the rug, she walks the very tower. With her head tucked underneath the rug at the midnight hour.
She comes to haunt King Henry, she means giving him what for. Gadzooks, she's going to tell him off for having spilled her gore. And just in case the headsman wants to give her an on,
she has her head tucked underneath the rug. With her head tucked underneath the rug, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked well underneath the rug at the midnight hour.
sometimes gay King Henry gives a spread for all his pals and gals and ghostly crew. The headsman cards the joint and cuts the bread. Then in comes Anne Boleyn to spoil the dew. She holds her head up for the World War I. And Henry says,
Don't you drop it in the soup. With her head tucked underneath the rug, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath the rug at the midnight hour.
one night she found King Henry was in the castle bar, and he said,
Are you Jane Seymour?
no,
Anne Boleyn?
maybe.
Oh, no, Catherine Parr. I'd recognize you anywhere.
What?
You're looking pretty good, except for the not having a head part.
On.
How am I supposed to know exactly who you are? With your head tucked underneath your arm. With her head tucked underneath the rug, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked well underneath the rug at the midnight hour.
Along the dusty corridors for miles and miles she goes. She often catches cold more than it's cold there when it's
Achoo.
and it's awfully awkward for the queen to have to blow her nose. Ew.
Ew. With her head tucked underneath the rug. With her head tucked underneath the rug, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath the rug at the midnight hour. With her head tucked underneath the rug, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked well underneath the rug. With her head tucked underneath the rug. Okay.
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 So, the question was, why did we come to France?
We had been thinking for years of maybe being expats for a while.
Because we wanted to adventure a little bit more before we got kind of too old to adventure, which is happening really fast.
Yeah. So we sold a house, moved here.
But we came here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We were invited by some friends to perform at a medieval festival in a town nearby.
Dinan.
Dinan, D-I-N-A-N, if you want to look it up. It has a festival every 2 years. And we just fell in love with
Yeah,
this
it's
whole
gorgeous
area.
out here. It really is.
So we had planned on Italy, but we decided, why not France for a while? So here we are.
Here we are. We have a year lease, and we'll see where life takes us. This next song is an original song.
It's about the problems he had with his love life before he met me.
Yeah, well, it's about how hard it was to find a girl in the 10th century.
That too.
I'm a wandering minstrel, I sing for my bread. I've lately been lonely and thinking to wed, but I never realized how hard it could be to find the right girl in the 10th century.
Times were very tough.
For starters have, prospects are dead from pox, dysentery, and bubonic plague. And the survivors are all on the run from priests, knights, and squires, and even some nuns.
Even nuns?
Yeah, it's a strange time.
Wow.
Hey, ho, I search to and fro, it's always the same wherever I go. I never knew how hard it could be to find the right girl in the 10th century. I was advised to find a fair princess, but they never cook or do any dishes. And a woman I did know a good wife would make was recently captured and burned at the stake.
Shocking.
It smelled horrible.
I'm sure.
Though the ladies arrayed in their fashions, I see you here.
Yeah.
I'll take that one or maybe that one. But it appears they're with aristocrats. I best back up and avoid the rack.
Wise move.
It hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, oh, I just do and fro. It's always the same wherever I go. I never knew how hard it could be to find the right girl in the 10th century. Big roll.
That's enough. Too much of a good thing.
Our wenches are pretty and may make good wives. If you are wary of their poisons and knives, it's true their corsets do fair treasures hold. Take care with the laces, they often explode.
Oh, they do not.
I have scars.
Oh, yeah, you do, right?
Barbarian girls, some say they are better. They all look so nice in their chainmail and leather. Although I'm tempted, I'll pass just the same. I prefer love making without being maimed.
You know, makes sense.
Sometimes it hurts so good though. Hey, oh, I search to and fro. It's always the same wherever I go. I never knew how hard it could be to find the right girl in the 10th century.
All right, it's time to lower the bar.
I consider a leper, but will be insisting that none of the good parts are dangling or missing. These days are hard, not easy to please, but I prefer a woman without too many fleas. You know, you can get a collar for that.
I forgot it.
I'll expand my search to the elves and the fairies, but ogre girls are just a little too hairy. The problem with the mythical creatures, you're never quite sure they have all the right features. Sometimes they have too many. Hey, oh, I search to and fro. It's always the same wherever I go. I never knew how hard it could be to find the right girl in the 10th century. To find the right girl in the 10th century. Times were tough. They were. So we're going to slow down.
Yeah,
Right?
slow it down and do something pretty.
This next song is an old English folk song that goes back. It has 17th century originations. It's called The Ballad of Geordie. If you hear our dogs once in a while, they're in the front room. As I walked out over London Bridge one misty morning early, I overheard a fair pretty maid lamenting for her Geordie.
Geordie will be hanged with a golden chain. 'Tis not the chain of Merlin. my Geordie. Geordie will be hanged with a golden chain. 'Tis not the chain of many. He was born of king's royal blood and lost to a virtuous lady. Geordie never harmed nor cow nor calf. He never hurt any. So 16 of the king's royal deer, and he sold them in Bohany. Two pretty babies I have born, the third lies in my body. Oh, indeed, their father dear, please spare the life of my Geordie.
The judge looked over his left shoulder. He said, "Fair maid, I am sorry." He said, "Fair maid, you must leave now, for I cannot pardon Geordie."
Geordie will be hanged with a golden chain. 'Tis not the chain of many. He was born of king's royal blood and lost to a virtuous lady. He was born of king's royal blood and lost to a virtuous lady.
The Ballad of Geordie.
So maybe we should talk about why we're in this garb.
Oh, well, since we're in France, we went to a store and we got real French attire. And that's why we're not in our regular Faire Middlin garb.
Yes.
And so we're just blending in with the rest of the population.
Yeah, but really, we haven't seen anybody wearing these except
Yeah, maybe it's
us
the
and
wrong
some
time of
of-
the season or
some
something.
of
I
their
don't
tourists,
know.
maybe?
Yeah.
Well, we did find out that berets are not common in this part of France. This is the traditional hat
Yes. Here in
And-
Brittany.
in Brittany, and this. Don't I look like Where's Waldo, but in blue and white?
Yeah. You can hardly see her.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about your drinking problem. Would you like a little more wine?
Yes, could you please?
You notice that we do have the
Weird.
expected wine and bread.
And President Macron said that we have to eat cheese to keep the industry going. And so we're
forgot
doing
the cheese.
We're doing our part. So
This is just wine and bread, but
Okay.
I forgot the cheese.
that's something. Yeah. Thank you, dear. Okay.
Back to your drinking problem.
I drank 16 doubles for the price of one. Trying to find the courage to talk to the one. I asked her for a dance, not a second glance. My night had just begun. Well, I drink it to the Father or the Holy Ghost. I'm kneeling at the altar, my nightly post. So I raise a glass, not the first or last. Come join me in my toast. Because the old black rum's got a hold of me, like a dog round my leg. And the old black rum's got a hold of me. Will I live for another day? Hey, will I live for another day?
Well, the Queen of George Street just walking on by, walking on by with the guy who don't care that she stood in line since 9:30 and spent 3 hours on her hair. Well, her friend is looking at me with an evil grin. I think the bloody racket might soon begin. I must have said something to the George Street Queen, and the boys are joining in.
Because the old black rum's got a hold of me, like the dog round my leg. And the old black rum's got a hold of me. Will I live for another day? Hey, will I live for another day? Well, I drank up all my money and I slept out in the rain. Every day is different, but the nights are all the same. You never see the sun with the old black rum.
But I know I'm gonna do it again.
got a hold of me. Will I live for another day? Hey, will I live for another day? Because the old black rum's got a hold of me like a dog wrapped around my leg. And the old black rum's got a hold of me. Will I live for another day? Hey, will I live for another day? Hey, will I live for another day?
The old black rum.
Yes.
Now a little song from Ireland
A wee song
about a wee lass
in a wee village
looking for love,
in all
the wrong.
places. Papa, I am so excited, Papa!
Yes,
I have
daughter,
news.
you look very excited.
I
What's
have
going on?
news. I have news. You know Johnny.
I know Johnny quite well.
Johnny be fair and Johnny be fine and once before to wed. And I will marry Johnny.
Sweetie, a word, please.
But me father up and said, yes, Papa,
What is it?
I have to tell you, daughter, what your mother never
And
knew.
that is?
Johnny is a son of mine, and so is kin to you. Can't marry him.
What?
Sorry. Don't tell Mom.
Okay. But I have it.
Seamus be fair and Seamus be fine and once before to wed. And I will marry Seamus. Just a minute.
Dear, a word, please.
But my father up and said,
What is it now, Papa?
A little embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, daughter, what your mother never knew. Seamus is another son of mine, and so is kin to you.
I kissed him.
Well, hopefully it's a sisterly kiss.
Gross. Now what?
Michael be fair and Michael be fine and once before to wed. And I will marry Michael.
Sweetie, another word?
But me father up and said,
What now?
I'm sorry to tell you, daughter, what your mother never
No,
knew.
not Michael, no.
Michael's yet another son of mine, and so is kin to you.
What's wrong with
It's a
you?
small town.
Ugh.
you've never known a lass as sad and lonely as I was. The boys are all my brothers, and my father is the cause. If this should continue, I shall die a single miss. I think I'll go to mother and complain to her of this.
Uh-oh. As you can imagine, Dad runs for the hills.
Here's Mom. She
And
looks-
Mom.
She looks a lot like me, doesn't she?
Yeah, there's a genetic resemblance, yeah. And Mom tells her daughter,
Daughter, haven't I taught you to forgive and to forget? Your father sought his wild ass, but still you shouldn't fret. Your father may be father to all the boys in town, but still, he's not the man who sired you, so marry whom you will.
a tragic tale.
Yeah, well, that's tragic what happened to him afterwards.
Okay.
So what I want to mention just a little bit about what it was like here during the lockdown, which has recently just been lifted a little bit. We have CD19 hair where I have multicolors at the base of my hair, and it's getting longer and longer and longer. But we had to carry documents with us when we went out, stating that we had essential business of this, or that, and it was only to go shopping, to help someone who needed help, to go to the doctor. No unessential trips out of the house were allowed. And only supermarkets, pharmacies, gas stations, and tobacco shops.
Yeah, the
open.
essentials
The
were
essentials.
kept open. And over here in France, you can buy any kind of liquor in any one of these stores. So
Yeah, so we were good with that.
yeah, pretty much.
But we live in the countryside, so it was really easy to do social distancing.
Yeah.
But we do still need to go out with masks. So,
This song, The Lady and the Grenadier, is an old English folk song that dates back to the 1700s.
I was a-walking one morning in May. I spied a young couple a-making of hay. Oh, one was the
was a soldier, a bold grenadier. Good morning, good morning, said he. Where are you going, my pretty lady?
I am going a-walking by the clear crystal stream, for to see cool waters glide and hear nightingales sing. Having thus spoken, together they went into the merry greenwood, where some time there they spent in walking and talking by the clear crystal stream.
Together they listened to the nightingale sing.
Oh soldier, will you marry me?
Oh no, my dear lady, it's never can be. For my life is the army, and my fate it will bring. But I'll always remember you when nightingales sing.
I was a-walking one morning in May. I spied a young couple a-making of hay. On one was a fair maid, and her beauty shone clear.
The other was a soldier, a bold grenadier.
On one was a fair maid, and her beauty shone clear.
And the other was a soldier,
A bold grenadier.
the Lady and the Grenadier.
So we have one final song to sing for you. But before we sing that song, I just wanted to mention that if anyone wants to make any tips or donations, they're all going to Rescue, and the links for that should be shown on the screen. So please donate to Rescue. Of all the money that e'er I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
If I had money enough to spend, and leisure to sit a while, there is a fair maid in the town, who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
Oh, the comrades that e'er I had, they are sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they would wish me one more day to stay.
But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I will gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be with you all.
I will gently rise and softly call.
Good night and joy be with you all. Thank you very much.
We love you.
Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman.
In the village of Kilgore lives a maiden young and fair. Her eyes shine like diamonds, she has long and golden hair.
A horseman comes riding up to her father's gate. On a pure white stallion, he arrives at the strike of 8. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman. I have come to court your daughter, Mary of the golden hair. I have golden, I have silver, I have goods beyond compare. I shall buy her silks and satins, and a gold ring for her hand. She shall live in a mansion, she'll have servants to command. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman.
I don't want your gold and silver, I don't want your house and land. I'm in love with a soldier and I promised him my hand.
And her father spoke up sharply, you'll do as I command. You'll get married on a Sunday and you'll wear that wedding band. Step it out.
In the village of Kilgore, there's a deep stream flowing by. On her wedding day at midnight, she drowns with her soldier boy.
In the cottage there is music. You can hear her father say, step it out to Mary, my fine, fine daughter.
Sunday is your wedding day. Sunday is your wedding day. Step it up, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it up, Mary, if you can. Step it up, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman. Step it up, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it up, Mary, if you can. Step it up, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the countryman. Step it up, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it up, Mary, if you can. Step it up, Mary, my fine daughter. Show